Hello everybody, Nick McDonald speaking. Thanks for joining us for us commentary on the dollar index and currency markets for this week. Looking here at the dollar index, we had this big move down on Thursday, very similar to the big move up we had on the Russell on the same day, followed by just here a small up move on Friday. So a big red candle which has got overextended from its moving averages, followed by a small green candle, just as a sign of a pullback due this week, particularly if we can break up to the higher Friday's candle. First of all, let's look at where we were last week. We were down here just above 76. I thought 76 would offer, fairly minor support, and the price was starting to look like moving down through it. If we come down and just look at what happened here on a low time frame as we came down and tested 7600, we came right down. We had this little bounce off it that actually provided a little long trade for me. And then came down and broke down below it. So this did offer minor support. It actually came down and then found a bit of resistance from 7600 from the downside, and then we had this really good move down towards 75. Now, I wasn't looking at 75 last week as any major kind of support. I was looking at 7400 as the point we'd get to, but particularly as we came down and ended Thursday's move there and had a little bounce off it, combined with the fact we've had a few touches in here and a few bounces off that level from both the upside and the downside before, 7500 is starting to become a minor support level as we get down to 7400, which is a bit more major. Now, it's quite interesting how the dollar index is working. It doesn't always work like this on the markets. However, these big numbers, 7400 is key support, 7500 now, 76 has been quite major, 77, 78. These big numbers just happen to be the levels where price is reacting with on quite a major basis. So we've just found another one and proven another one at 75, and now we're due a pullback. Where are we likely to pull back to? 7600 is the perfect kind of region. If we look at, not only is there the big number, there's also the resistance there. If we just come and have a look and draw a Fibonacci level in here as well, I normally am looking for more like 50 to 62% pullbacks, except for in a particularly weak market, we might only pull back about 38%. And if we pull back to 76, it's only a 38% pullback, but I think it'll quite comfortably fall away off that level if we can even pull back that far. Certainly I'm bearish here, and I think we're going to be drawn down towards 7400. Let's look at this on a weekly chart. That just looks, on a weekly basis, there's nothing at all in the way. 75 doesn't even show up. There's nothing at all in the way of stopping price falling to 74. And if we come and put it into even more perspective by looking at a monthly chart, even 74 doesn't look like any kind of major support down here at these lows. We've got a really bearish candle. We've just pulled into the averages, bearish candle. If we can break down through this, remember this is the October candle. If in November, the October candle's only got a day of trading left, if in November we break down through that low, would expect the price to move in a similar proportion to that October candle, which projects it quite a long way down, and which means 7400 just looks minor in terms of the bigger picture, with the US dollar looking bearish. Of course, on a daily basis, 7400 is quite major, and it would be likely to find some support there. I just wouldn't be looking for a monthly sized move off it, i.e. I wouldn't look for a bounce off 74 and expect it to move upwards for many, many months. I'd be looking for a move up, and probably a move up for a period of days, maybe even weeks, but certainly not months. On a monthly basis, the US dollar is looking much more bearish. Let's just come and have a look at a couple of other currencies. Let's look at euro dollar. Because this is the major weighting in the dollar index, and looks very similar. What we have here is we've got that big up move on Thursday, a little red candle on Friday. Today we're just opening up on the euro dollar. If we can break down through that, we're looking for a pullback, probably back into around about 1.4, which will link up with these averages and also the big number. But if we just come and look at this on the higher time frames, we've got some resistance in the way at 1.5 on euro dollar. So euro dollar's got something stopping it from going higher, just a little something in the way, whereas when we looked at the dollar index, we only had 7400 on the downside, and on a monthly basis it was very minor, whereas here on a monthly basis it's much more significant. However, what we've got here is a move up to 1.5 looking very, very likely, and from there we can assess what is likely to happen. If euro dollar gets to 1.5, it's very likely the dollar index will have already broken 74, or certainly it'll be very close to doing so. Let's have a quick look at the Aussie as well, just being this currency which was so strong for so long, even though not involved in the dollar index, just been so bullish all the way up through here. We had a really bearish month here in September, and then for October to completely and utterly counter that is just showing us a really strong AUD again with a very weak USD, and looking like going back into its longer term trend. Coming back and tying this together on the dollar index as to what is likely to be happening this week. Even though we're at some fairly minor support down here at 7,500, it seems to be propping the price up. I think the most likely scenario is a bit of a pullback. We've had a big move down. We've had, what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, around about 8 or 9 days here of just, even though we had a few sideways days, they've all been quite bearish. Even the candles that didn't move down, they just were sideways and they tried to go higher and failed. But then we've had Quite a bearish week or so there. We're due a little bit of a pullback. 7600 looks like a great place for it to pull back to before continuing down. Maybe testing 75 again. I don't think it will find any major support at 75 the next time it tests it, and then we're coming down to test 74 on a shorter term basis, and by that I mean on a daily chart basis. I think we'll find some support at 74, and it will provide some really good trading opportunities for us. They could be long trades for bounces off 74. They equally could be short trades if we break 74, looking for pullbacks into that level. But 7400 will be a major level where there's likely to be some really good trading opportunities. Just waiting for it to get down there. At the moment, there's trading opportunities around 75 and 76 on a shorter term basis. I'll be looking for this move back up before the continuation into the longer term downtrend. We'll assess it when we get to 74 in the daily, as and when I think price will break through it. But right now, putting it out there on a longer term basis, looking at that monthly chart, it certainly does look like it will offer quite minor support on a longer term basis, and it is likely to be broken. Happy trading all. Hope that helps. Have a wonderful week's trading, and look forward to speaking to you next week.